He's been an award-winning media personality and producer. As a speaker, he's empowered over 1 million people from the stage. Now one of the leading business coaches and brand experts is taking over the world of on-demand audio. It's the Business Bully Podcast. Now here's the business bully himself, Dave Anderson.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen and lady friends, it is that time where the Mohawk and real talk and living fully business bully is out here once again in your ears to help you snap some necks and cash some checks. Woo! Why? Because that's what I do. Look for that Twitware coming soon. That's what I do. All right, now check it out. Of course, if you have not gotten your 30-day free trial from Audible, go to audibletrial.com/bully and get that situation poppington, people. Now, I got a lot on my mind, but this is going to be a quick rant because I'm just going to content the hell out of you. So I'm picking up my baby from daycare, and I'm on my way back to the house right now as I speak to you from the mobile studio, better known as my phone. Love that quality. Anyway and anyhow, a lot of things have happened today. First, and I was going to do this as two separate shows, but I kind of want to tie them together because I want to talk about education versus school. And today was like National Student Walkout Day because people want to raise awareness or get the NRA to suddenly grow a heart and change their policies that make them billions of dollars. And I hate to be the guy to come and piss in everybody's Cheerios, but this media-funded student walkout, and this isn't me talking political, I'm talking straight up business. This media-funded student walkout isn't going to change a damn thing. It isn't. These kids are making signs and being pointed in the wrong direction. See, like I've said before, even your protests are based upon the influence of the media and don't come from original thoughts 9 times out of 10. There's always an exception. There's always like a hashtag Me Too or something like that. But for the most part, nah, man, it literally comes from something other than your original thought process. And so as a result of that, you miss out on the opportunity to have a level of objectivity because people are telling you what to do, where to go, how to feel, what to write, what to say, who to do it with, and you miss out on things. And so here's my problem. Guns have always been an issue in America. It's not until about 1999 that we start to see America on a national stage dealing with school shootings, because there have been mass shootings before. There have been mass shootings. I remember when people were getting shot in, around, and in the vicinity of my high school, and I don't remember seeing any national news there. I just don't remember seeing that. I remember times where there were riots when people were walking around my school with semi-automatic weapons, machetes, and 2x4s, and I don't remember Dan Rather showing up. I don't remember Peter Jennings or Connie Chung or any of the newscasters who were nationally syndicated in my particular youth showing up to cover that. Oh, wait, that's right, I'm black and I'm from the hood. That's why they didn't show up. And this is not to diminish the loss of any life at any particular school, be it Columbine, be it Sandy Hook, or be it in Fort Lauderdale. To me, it's about the fact that there is not equal protection under the law, and there's definitely not equal coverage under the media. And that's by design. And so what winds up happening is people go out here and they start singing songs and marching and talking about how they're on the right side of history and blobbity skibbity bop bop bop. And yet and still nothing really happens. The same old things that were happening before are still happening. The corrupt politicians who were getting paid before are getting paid again on both sides of the aisle. Republican and Democrat, Libertarian and Green Party, all of these folks are still getting those checks cut. Point blank and period. Go back and watch a movie by Eddie Murphy called The Distinguished Gentleman. And in that movie, he becomes, Eddie Murphy's character becomes a congressman, I believe it is, or senator, something like that. Pretty sure it's a congressman. But anyway and anyhow, he's getting schooled by Lane Smith's character. And he's like, Lane Smith says to him, so are you for sugar or against sugar? He's like, well, what should I do? He's like, well, if you're for sugar, I can get you money from the sugar growers and the manufacturers. If you're against it, I can get you money from the parent groups. I can get you money from high fructose corn syrup. Like, he's breaking it down. Either way, it's money getting paid all over the place, and people are getting played all over the place. Now, here's something to think about. In the American education system, there are no more home economics classes in the grand scheme of things. There are no more shop classes where you can get certifications and walk out with a job with no need for a college degree. There are no classes that teach you how to balance a checkbook, write a check, dress for success if that's your thing, interview for a job, learn entrepreneurship skills, develop core competencies, things that are actually going to help you in the quote-unquote real world. But there's a whole lot of focus on tests. There's a whole lot of focus on regurgitation. There's a whole lot of focus on issues and things that really don't have an impact on people's everyday lives. And that is by design, because the school system is designed to make great workers and not great thinkers. It is designed to make great followers and not for great leaders. It is designed to keep people under the thumb of the status quo and not break out and do their own thing. This is to keep order. And if you don't understand that, then you're missing out on what's been happening for the past 200 years in this country. You know, America is built off of a system where only a few are enlightened and everyone else just goes along to get along and is happy about it. But my question is this: why isn't there a walkout for the fact that junk food permeates our cafeterias in public and private schools? Why is it that there is no walkout for the fact that the soda companies are pumping high fructose corn syrup, which is just as addictive as cocaine, according to the American Medical Association? How come there's no walkouts for that? How come there's no walkouts for the fact that every child is supposed to be told that they should be an individual, but every child is educated the same way, when we know because of science and psychology that not every child learns the same way? Why aren't we walking out over a grading system that tells one person that they are excellent because they got an A, and another person who's a failure because he got an F, either because he doesn't understand, comprehend, or care about a particular lesson? And yeah, there are things in life you're going to have to learn that you're not necessarily going to like, but there are ways to make it fun. Like, I couldn't stand math. I didn't see any point in algebra. As an entertainer, a writer, a best-selling author, I have no need for H plus 3 equals 8. I just don't. It's 5, by the way. I learned that now, but like, I could give a rat's ass, you know, in the grand scheme of things. And I think that that's what we're missing. You're teaching people things that they don't really get any enjoyment out of. Why aren't we walking out for the fact that there's no more drama club? Why aren't we walking out for the fact that there's no more debate team? Why aren't we walking out for the fact that the only thing that they want you to do is run, throw, catch, kick, or hit a ball? Why aren't we walking out for that? So now you've got a bunch of dumb athletes, and then you hop kids up on the idea that they may make it to the pros, be that the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA, or what have you. And the truth of the matter is, they got a better chance of hitting lightning twice, for real, or getting hitting the lottery. Like, it's not gonna happen, for most people. And so that's the problem that I see when we talk about it. Now, I'm also sick of people caping for Bruno Mars as if Bruno Mars does not benefit from his situation. And don't get me wrong, I'm not mad for anybody taking advantage of a situation that's placed in front of them. That's not what this is about. But there is a bit of an imbalance in the fact that there are more people who are not African American making money off of African American created and performed music than actual African American performers. And that comes down to ownership. When you don't own the means of production and distribution, these things happen. But see, you would learn that in a class that had some balance, in a class that actually had some real world economics, but we don't do that. And then when we have creative teachers who try to do different things, remember Teddy Pendergrass said in the 70s, wake up all the teachers out to teach a new way. Maybe then they'll listen to what we have to say. Because they're the ones who's coming up and the world is in their hands. So when you teach the children, give them the very best you can. But no, you're not allowed to do that because you're being audited and being viewed by the principal who has to follow a certain set of guidelines, and it's a whole bunch of hockety-doo and flippity-bop, and none of it is helping anybody do anything. But we're so excited over false, small, teeny tiny victories that aren't going to make a bit of difference when the lights go out. And so I want you to start thinking a little bit more critically than you are about the things that you're taking in and how they're actually benefiting you. Yeah, it's cool that we wasted a bunch of poster board magic markers, microphones and cameras to show these kids walking out, but nothing is going to change. And I know people say, oh, well, protests have changed things, and look at civil rights. Okay, let's look at civil rights, shall we? We had a bunch of people who were out there, getting their asses beat, getting lynched, getting disenfranchised for wanting to sit at somebody else's lunch counter who didn't want them there in the first place. Singing "We Shall Overcome" and "Ain't Gonna Let Nobody Turn Us Around," and we still singing that shit 50 years after Martin Luther King got killed. Progress to me is not having integration. Progress to me is making sure that everybody has equality. I'm not here for separate but equal, but I'm saying you can go into any major city in the country and you see Little Italy. You can go into any major city in the country, you can see a Chinatown. What do black people tend to have? The hood. That is problematic. And we can't act like it's not, because it affects everybody, whether you're black or not. And we have to start looking at things from a justice standpoint, and we also have to pay attention to the names of things. There's a reason they called it civil rights. Number one, they wanted it to have a mass effect on other people. And on top of that, they wanted to make sure that black people were civil while they were getting their heads bashed in, dogs sicked on them, and being hosed down. So now we done went from hoses and dogs to just being shot by cops at traffic stops. So there's a lot of things that are happening here that we really need to start thinking about. I want more walkouts for things that are going to actually change the system. And because I can't change the school system, I started Black Boys Win. And I started it as an educational initiative to focus on entrepreneurship, leadership, and encouragement so that young black boys don't feel disenfranchised and don't feel like they're weaponized just for stepping out of their door with a hoodie and some iced tea. So, I just wanted to put that out there, get you thinking about some different things, and think about the fact that there's a lot of money that's being made off of these students that is not being used for the students' benefit. And I think walkouts and stuff are cool to push an agenda. That's great and all. But what are we doing to fix the education system that is 25th, I believe, in math and science, and 27th in reading comprehension, or I have that on the inverse. Either way, it's really fucking low for America to be the greatest country in the world. So those are things I want you to think about. Please give me some feedback, Dave@businessbullyshow.com. And I will check you out. I will definitely check you out next time. All right. Peace.
Want free business and marketing tips from Dave? Text Business Bully to 31996. That's Business Bully to 31996. Standard data and text message rates apply.